So thank you, Eric, for that amazing introduction. And I wouldn't necessarily say I'm an expert in crowdfunding, but I am currently going through a crowdfunding campaign, and I'm learning a lot. For those of you who don't know, there's a couple different sites out there that allow you to do crowdfunding. The original one was Kickstarter, was the first one most people have heard of. I chose to do Indiegogo because it's set up a little bit differently than Kickstarter. Kickstarter, people put in money, and then only if they actually hit their goal do people's credit cards get charged. And with Indiegogo, you can raise money, and if you don't hit your goal, you still get the money. It's just that you pay a higher fee if you don't hit your goal. And so one of the things I would say, I've learned a lot of do's and don'ts. One of the do's is make sure you have a realistic idea of how much you're really going to get from your friends and family beforehand. I think I was a little aggressive in my goal of, I put out a pretty aggressive goal for the money I want to raise. And, I have a couple weeks left in my campaign, and I'm like I still have like a lot left to raise. And so, I looking back probably shouldn't have been as aggressive. One of the things also is make sure to have a press release ready to go right when you do that. There's a lot of preparation that should go into the campaign before you launch to make sure you know what your social media strategy is going to be, that you've talked to all of your friends ahead of time and they know what they're going to do, and in terms of contributing before you even launch, because there is something that I found out after the fact, unfortunately, for Indiegogo, there's a go-go factor, and that is when you first launch, as many people putting money in right away when you first launch, that actually will help increase your chances on Indiegogo for Indiegogo to highlight your campaign compared to the other campaigns out there, because there's so many people doing this nowadays. So when they see a campaign where everybody's contributing right at the very beginning, then they raise that up in their search results so that the general public and people see it more. And so that was definitely a learning lesson, to make sure to have people who are going to do it right away, that they've committed and they understand that that's what they're supposed to do right the second you launch, instead of educating them through the process, which is what I've been doing. So another thing is make sure that your levels of what people can contribute are very reasonable, because there's a lot of people who they want to help, but they don't have that much, and so have stuff in there like $5, $10, and then you have your bigger ones, 100,000, those kind of things. But do something so that people who don't know you as well, still that want to contribute can. So and then I would say the last thing is, before you put your video, I would have at least 10 to 20 people look at your video and give you their opinions before you launch it, because that's another lesson I learned is there were some things that people were confused at that made sense to me, because you're very emotionally invested in your project, so I think you know what you're talking about, and then somebody else might not get your message at all. And when you're going to put this out in front of the world, you want to make sure that people that you have a clear message. So anyway, those are tips that I wish I'd known prior to going into my campaign, and I wish all of you out there who are considering doing crowdfunding all the success, and this helps you out. All right, thanks.